This podcast is brought to you by Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce. A great sauce starts with the best ingredients. Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is that great sauce. Inspired by our founder's original recipe, Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is made with delicious ingredients, including vine-ripened tomatoes, chopped onions, garlic, and olive oil, simmered together for the authentic taste you and your family will want to come back to. For recipes, sauces, and mealtime inspiration, visit ragu.com.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
What's up, everyone? Freddie the Pizza Man here, host of the Pizza Man podcast. Now joining forces with ChristopherMedia.net. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, the Pizza Man podcast, and of course, find all the podcasts on ChristopherMedia.net. We talk Detroit sports. I bring on guests, passions, opinions, all for Detroit sports and more. We even talk pizza. So thanks for tuning in and spread the word.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer, brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
Welcome to Beer Nuts number 111. I'm Chris.
Uncle Pete calling in on the road from Seattle.
Doug out here in Michigan.
And JR here on the island of Grosse Ile, Michigan.
All right, so this week's theme, JR, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to let you explain it.
All right. Well, we're going to continue our month of October in September, as Oktoberfest is actually celebrated in September. A lot of people don't know that, but it is the truth. And so we're going to continue that theme with Oktoberfest beers with an American twist. These are going to be American craft beer Oktoberfests, Marzen beers, Marzen style lagers. So, why don't we kick this off with some good German music, the Oktoberfest tune, and then we'll got a quote of the week, which is going to be in German, and then we'll get to taste some tasty Marzen beers.
Oh, of course it reset. There we go.
Ein Prosit.
And then everybody drinks.
Yeah.
And some people say ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. But we'll warm up to that after a few beers. We're way too sober to do that. Yeah, it's all about Oktoberfest. We got some great American craft beer Oktoberfest styles. So we're going to start off with our quote of the week, which is in German. I'll probably botch this terribly. So those of you that speak fluent German, forgive me right now. But the quote goes as such: "Halb besoffen ist raugeschmissenes Geld," which means being half drunk is wasted money, which is a common theme of the Oktoberfest in Munich.
Oh, Prost.
Prost. Ziggy, oi, oi, oi. Well, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to pop a beer, but we're going to start off with Pete. Everybody's thirsty. Let's go ahead and get right at it, Uncle Pete.
All right, this is the good part. Well, I want to add my own little German toast and say Zum Wohl to everyone out there, to your health. What I have to offer tonight is an Oktoberfest 2018. It's a collaboration between Sierra Nevada Brewing and Weihenstephan, the world's oldest brewery. And it's got a great-looking label with the white diamonds on the blue background, the very pattern that you'll see a lot of Oktoberfest flags and Oktoberfest clothing and garments adorned with. But this is a fresh beer from Sierra Nevada and Chico, California, and also Mills River, North Carolina. By the way, I'm going to be at Sierra Nevada later this week, and let me pour this up and see what it looks like, and we'll give you some tasting notes. And anyway, okay, so pours up a nice amber copper color to it, little hints of red in the golden color, bright white head, nice long-lasting head here. It's not dissipating very quickly. Great carbonation. Get some aroma. Get kind of a yeasty, bit of a bready aroma. A little hop aroma in there, a little earthiness. I don't know what hops they use, and I don't have the means to look anything up. So, JR, if one of you guys is on the computer, you can try to look up some background on the ingredients.
I'm on it.
But this is supposedly an Americanized version of Marsden style, so we'll give it a taste. Fairly light-bodied, malty. Immediately on the palate, you get the maltiness. I get a very mild hop influence, nothing much there. It's not prominent at all. It does have a nice kind of a bready, yeasty flavor. It's not overly sweet. It is a little cold. I've got my refrigerator turned up pretty high out there, so maybe as it warms it may change a little bit. But this definitely has a German Marzen lager style flavor to it. I suppose if I drank a an authentic one from Germany, it might be fuller bodied than this one here. But nonetheless, there's nothing disagreeable about this beer to me at this point, other than it may be on a lighter scale than an import. JR, did you see any other write-ups on it as far as what kind of hops they're using in this?
I have.
I don't think they're using Saaz, because I know I got a pretty good taste for Saaz, and I don't think there's Saaz in here.
I found something on the Sierra Nevada website, but it doesn't really reveal the ingredients or anything, but I'll read what I have. It says a German-American collaboration on the classic festival beer. We've partnered with Bavaria's Weihenstephan, the world's oldest brewery, for this American take on the classic German Oktoberfest. A malt backbone is balanced by subtle hop character in this crisp, clean, and drinkable crowd pleaser. Nothing captures the spirit of celebration like a beer among friends. So it's very vague. It doesn't give you much on the ingredients. I don't know whether they're hiding it or... but okay, it is cool that they're partnering with one of my favorite breweries in the world, one of the oldest breweries. I think it is the world's oldest brewery. So,
yep. Well, I did share one with my brother earlier, and he had some words about it, and to the tune of he thought it was very crisp, maybe more crisp and lighter bodied than what he would normally expect from this style of beer. Other than that, like I said, there's nothing really disagreeable about the beer to me. I bought a 6-pack, and they're going to be gone shortly. So if you want to foray into an Oktoberfest and you haven't tried any, take the Sierra Nevada collaboration with Weihenstephan and see how you like it. So JR, or who's next? I'll turn it over to you guys.
I think Doug was next.
Yes, I'm up next here.
Let me sign off, guys. I'm sorry, Doug. I'll sign off now and let you guys go.
Pete.
Zumwalt, Prost, and Zumwalt to everybody.
All right, enjoy.
Thanks for joining us, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Just real quick.
AMF.
AMF. I just wanted to point out, now that Pete's gone, I actually finally found a little bit more information on this beer. It's 6% ABV, uses lager yeast. Bittering hops are Sterling hops, finishing hops, Sterling, Spalter, and Record. Never heard of that. 2-row pale malts, Steffi, Pilsner, and Munich. So with that, we're moving on to Doug.
All right. Let's see. What I have is a beer called Oktoberfest, R-O-A-K. And it's super local. It's a Roke Brewery in Royal Oak, which is our oak. But yeah, super local. Got a nice, beautiful blue can. It looks like almost some Celtic artwork on it, but it's spelling out R-O-A-K in sort of some swirly patterns. So very cool can. It's got the typical Oktoberfest blue diamonds up around the top with a white background. And so it pours kind of a hazy golden color. I think typically these beers are copper in nature and typically very clear and sparkling clear. This particular one happens to be kind of gold and hazy. A nice head on it. Some good lacing. The head hangs around on it. The nose, I get some really nice bready malt, sort of biscuit, but mainly sort of some bready characteristics. So the nose is really nice on it. My first sip of this seems it's a little light in body for an Oktoberfest, but it certainly falls within the lines of a fest beer. So, a lot of them are really different, and there's no single defining beer that says I'm Oktoberfest, although there are a few that sort of lead you in that direction. And I'll get back into that a little more on my second beer. But overall, this has a really nice flavor. There's some breadiness to it. There's very little sweetness and almost a mild lemony acidity to it, which kind of throws me a little bit. I'm not used to that in a fest beer. The hops are earthy and floral, and I think overall it's a pretty nice fest beer. It's just it's definitely different. Certainly the clarity is strange sight for me. The lack of clarity is sort of a strange sight for me in an Oktoberfest. But overall, it's a tasty beer. I'd order one, that's for sure. I don't know if I'd buy a whole lot of it. It's just kind of nice to try and then move on to another beer. That's my honest opinion on it. It's good, but it's not like over the top or anything. So just a nice solid fest beer from these guys.
All right. Anybody else had this?
I have not.
I haven't either. Well,
first time for me. I mean, it just sort of stood out as I wasn't sure. I'm not wasn't sure on this beer, and I'm not sure that I still am.
Well, I just wanted to point out that when you go to Oktoberfest, not many people know this unless you've been there, but I'm told that most of the people are drinking Helles lager, which is lighter, the yellow straw-colored, versus the Oktoberfest that we celebrate here in the States. I think you can still get the, maltier Marzen style lager, but I think it's much more prevalent to drink the lighter Helles style.
It's basically in TV and movies they drink Marzen.
Yeah, something like that.
But in reality, they're drinking the sessionable stuff.
You know what? It's a marathon, not a sprint, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But both of these ones that we're even sampling tonight, even though they're more amber in color and darker and maltier than the Helles style, they're still, around 5%. They're not really, really heavy drinkers or, strong, but,
Yeah, this particular one comes in at 5.4, so you can definitely put them down. It's a 16-ounce can, so you can put down a couple of these and just and be perfectly okay.
Yep, and it's obviously the vessel of choice at Oktoberfest is the 1-liter mug. I have one right in front of me, but opted not to use it tonight because I'm not going to fill it. But when you're drinking a liter at a time, you probably don't want to have a 7%er in there. So I think they probably
why not? It's good to have goals.
4% range. Well, like you said, half drunk is a waste of money, right?
Yeah, you'd definitely be fully drunk with a 7%er.
Amen. All right, Chris, you want to go next?
Yes. I have a offering from our friends at Bell's. The way I picked this beer, quite honestly, is I spent 10 minutes looking through my local bottle shop for Oktoberfest styles, then went, what the hell? I thought this was a good bottle shop. Then realized they had an entire door full of Oktoberfest styles altogether. And I was going to pick something from Ballast Point, and then I remembered something you gentlemen taught me about the ownership of Ballast Point. So I'm like, I need a real craft beer. So Bell's Oktoberfest. I may have drank ahead. I mean, poured it into the glass here. I mean, well, for starters, I'll read you right from the website because it's short and sweet on the website. Kind of like the style with Martin. It says crafted as a Crafted as a flavorful session beer and perfect for autumn, Oktoberfest spends a full 6 weeks fermenting. With herbal hop aromas, this balanced amber lager focuses on lightly toasted malt that lends body without too much sweetness. Perfect for a week-long wedding celebration in Germany or the start of the Michigan autumn. It's 5.5% ABV. Yeah. That is all the info on it as far as, there's no IBUs or anything like that. So, pour this thing into the bottle. You can see through it. It is your typical brown color, I would say, for Marzen. So, somewhere between brown and amber. Taking a whiff of it. I mean, it's very. I mean, if you're like an IPA guy, this is kind of not your cup of tea. Supposedly, it's kind of a very muted aroma here. The hop's still coming through. Lacing, kind of sticking to the glass in the mouth, kind of a light, crisp feel. And yeah, this beer is more sweet than bitter, and I have a feeling it's because of the malt in this beer. But overall, from Bell's, it's never a weak offering, really. I think the three of us can agree. Very rarely are we talking about a miss from Bell's, because at this point they've been in the game like 30 years. I could see myself going through 6 of these, a few days from now, for perhaps a 10-hour period on the couch. Bell's Oktoberfest, yeah, worth a shot if you like Bell's, if you like Oktoberfest. I mean, this beer is as advertised, and if you've listened to my reviews on the show throughout the years, for me, that's pretty much the best. That's the best you can get from me. If it's as advertised, it's a winner in my book.
Well, yeah, we did Gosa last week, which was perfect because we're coming out of the hot summer. That's a good style for that. And this is a good way to segue into as the weather transitions into cooler weather. These are a little bit stronger, but they're still light. They're lagers. They're maybe more malty than hoppy. I kind of disagreed. You said if you're an IPA person, you won't care for this. I think you can still like both styles, but I understand where you're coming from.
Let's just say if you're used to a big aroma, this you're going to be let down here.
This is the hops are not the star of the show in this style. The malt is. But yeah, I mean, and you'll notice all these reviews are kind of similar. The style's kind of a pretty narrow band of, all these are going to be pretty similar. They're going to be lager yeast and maybe a little bit different noble hop selection, and maybe some specialty malts in there that might be, some of them will be sweeter than others. But we've seen in the reviews so far, they're all pretty much very similar. It would be nice to sample all these if we were together, where we could notice the subtle differences. But it's, like I said, it's a great style as we transition into the fall. Football's here. These are good tailgating beers. You can crush these at the tailgate, and they're stronger than the Gosas, but maybe a little bit less than our IPAs and double IPAs that we cherish. So that's where we're at with it. So good, like you said, Bell's is always you can always count on Bell's to deliver, and I haven't had any of that this year. Make it a point to get one on tap next time I see it. And I've been doing that this week. I've tried 3 or 4 others. I know the Great Lakes Brewing makes a really good one. But moving on, I think it's my turn. And so if you could cue up the 1, 2, 3, let's have another one of those while I prepare to review mine.
Oh, oops. Hold on. We got double German music. There we go. So let's try this again.
I'll go ahead and introduce my beer as you're queuing that up. There we go. Ein Prosit. Zwei. Dry. Super. And everybody rates their glass and chugs.
Yes.
Which I'm doing right now. Prost.
Prost.
And when you get toasted enough, then you can add the Ziggy Zaki at the end, but we're not there.
It's like my third or fourth Oktoberfest show with you guys, and I could tell you what that translation of that song is. We play it every year. I just know it means time to drink.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I know Gemütlichkeit is like the great feeling of camaraderie and feeling good from having a few pints. Gemütlichkeit, it's like a happy feeling. So everybody's friendly with each other, hopefully.
Here in America, we call it drunk.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's a good drunk where everybody around you is your friend instead of, people that are bad drunks that are mean to people around them if they don't know them. But it's a good camaraderie in Munich. And there is a hill that you can fall down and pass out or fall asleep, I'm told. I've never been there, but so I'm told. Anyway, let's get on to the business at hand. I'm really enjoying this beer. I couldn't wait for all those beers. I had to pop mine, and I'm really pleased with it. And it's Revolution Brewing out of Chicago, Oktoberfest German Style Lager. I love the picture on the can. It disturbingly could possibly be me. It's like this roly-poly fat dude with a German hat with a feather on it, blowing into a tuba with a huge mug of beer. I've never played a tuba. I don't have a feather hat, and my mustache doesn't have a handlebar on it, but I could see how after a few pints, people could say, hey, that's you on the label.
We can fix that.
And there's still time in life, John.
That's right. So, and speaking of that, find your local Oktoberfest. There's a lot of your local tap rooms have parties and, local VFWs and Elks clubs. There's all kinds of Oktoberfest celebrations and festivals. Go seek these out, eat good food, meet good people, drink good beer. It's always a fun time. So Revolution, they're big on their cans and labels. They have a big fist. This one is a blue fist on a blue can with the tuba dude on there, who's playing in the UPA band. So, but let's get into the beer, man. I mean, I poured this a while ago. It had a really nice frothy head, which is just about gone. It's got a really, really nice clear amber, like bronze amber copper color. Really looks great, nice and clear, clean. When I smell it, I just smell a nice sweet malt flavor, and that's exactly what it tastes like. A nice toasty, biscuity malt flavor it's just really, really. I've had 3 or 4 different Oktoberfests this week, and I was wondering what I was gonna review on the show, and I actually just randomly grabbed a couple from the singles at a store, and this was one of them, and I just completely took a wild stab, and I'm really glad I did. So I'm going to read the description from the brewery website. Oktoberfest German Style Lager. Our Oktoberfest beer is a German Style lager that was brewed in the summer and cold stored until late August to celebrate the coming of fall. Traditional German malts such as Pilsner, Vienna, Cara Red, and Munich lend a beautiful burnt orange color and a pleasant toasty malt flavor and aroma to this lager. Initial Magnum hopping along with multiple additions of German Sapphire and select hops throughout the boil provide a crisp, balanced bitterness and spicy earth aroma to round out this robust beer. For fermentation, we use a Bavarian lager yeast and then lower the temperature to 32 degrees Fahrenheit and store the beer cold for 4 weeks. This cold maturation time helps provide a smooth, round mouthfeel and clean, crisp finish. 5.7% ABV and 25 IBUs. And honestly, I've had 3 or 4 different ones this week. I actually really like the Sam Adams one, and the Great Lakes one is good, but this, I think, is my favorite one that I've had of the week, and I completely randomly stumbled upon it.
What brewery is this again?
Revolution Brewing from Chicago.
Not the first time we've heard that name on the show.
Oh, yeah, they make some great beers, but I don't know if you've had this one, Doug. I know you're very familiar with Revolution. Do you have any comments on this?
I've had it. I haven't had it this year, but I can imagine that it's just class act Oktoberfest. It's brewed more to style than a lot of the other American ones that we're coming across, and that's sort of the idea of this. The why we did the show the way we did is just do American craft takes on it, and it's good. Like you said, you named a couple earlier that are more traditional styles. The Sam Adams, I believe the Sam Adams runs a little sweeter, and then the Great Lakes is always dead on. So I can just imagine that this year's version is dead on. I'll definitely pick some of that up.
Yeah, I'm real impressed with it. It's real easy to drink. You know, some of the other ones I had, I'm not going to throw any names out, but some of the other ones I had, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm glad I tried it, but I wouldn't order another one of these. This is one that I might even go out and buy a 6-pack of it. It's as solid as they come, and I can see crushing a few of these during a football, an all-day football marathon where I don't want to get, I'll be able to drink a few beers and enjoy myself. So, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, and it's widely available in most markets, and it hangs around for a while, and it's as far as like into the fall. So it's a nice beer to buy now, or even buy it a few weeks from now when the weather gets a little more crisp. And I just hats off to that one.
Yeah, well, hats on for me. I'm going to have to go out and find a hat.
Oh, yeah, your feather
this guy.
hat. And then what's up with the tuba, man?
I don't think the tuba, but I can at least score a hat, I think. And maybe Uncle Pete's on the Fatheads product. Maybe this will be my new moniker here.
There you go.
All right, well, I think we're going back to you, Doug. A couple of us had 2.
Yeah, I couldn't decide, and I thought, the first one I was thinking would be more traditional, and that this would be the non-traditional version, but this one is the non-traditional version, in my opinion. This is by Deschutes from Bend, Oregon, and it's called Hopzite Autumn IPA. So it doesn't really say that it's Oktoberfest, but it does say it's it's hard to read that. It's a Märzen style IPA is what this is listed at. So this is actually an ale. So we pour this off, and it is the most beautiful copper color and very translucent, very clear, just great head on it. The bubbles just keep coming off of the bottom as I'm holding the glass up to the light, and it's as far as aesthetically viewing this product, it to me is the perfect Oktoberfest sitting right there. But yeah, 7% and 60 IBUs, so it's got some bitterness to it, and the nose is it's just got a nice spice to it, a little bit of caramel. And you do get that. You get just kind of a hint of some sort of floral and fruit, and then, but mainly it's a malt aroma. So on the taste of it, it's got some spiciness to it. It's definitely some caramel, which is good, and then it sort of gets a little weird for an Oktoberfest. It gets some hot bite to it. Some fruitiness to it, although it's not overpowering fruitiness. It's definitely more of a bitterness forward Märzen. If that freaks some people out, because that's not supposed to be that way. But hey, that's why we're doing the show, and that's why I brought this on the show, because this can be a polarizing beer. It's an ale. It's not a lager. Color is dead on. Aroma is nice, but what they've used in it are they don't list the specific hops, but they say German hops. So I'm going to assume that there's definitely some Hull melon in this, and probably some mandarina, and that's where some of the fruitiness is coming, some of the bitterness as well. But it's balanced off with some other earthy and floral hops that, in my opinion, make a really nice drinking beer. It doesn't have... what it does have is a cool balance to it, where if you were drinking this on an autumn day or tailgating football or at an Oktoberfest celebration, it's a welcome addition. I mean, this stuff tastes really, really good to me. Man, hats off to this one for sure. I know it's not quite to style, or it's not even in some ways close to style, but if I want a fest beer, this is going to be the one I go to. Absolutely.
Uncle Pete should have brought this one.
I know, he's out there, right?
It's like perfect for where he's at. But I'm going to look for this one.
Yeah, I saw the label, and it said, I think it was an Martin Style inspired IPA.
Yeah.
So I knew that it wasn't to style, and I love it because that's why we do our show. It's our show, and we'll do what we want. And it's nice to have a brewery think a little bit outside the box and say, well, everybody makes an Oktoberfest. We're going to do a little bit something different, and let's make an IPA that kind of tastes like an Oktoberfest. And they did it. So awesome that you found that and shared it with us.
Of course, it's Deschutes.
Hey,
they make some great stuff.
Love it.
I mean,
if
it could be them or Rogue.
Just the appearance alone on this beer just sets it apart from a lot of the other Oktoberfests. I mean, but again, you're dealing with an ale, and they cleaned it up pretty well versus typically a lager, which should be clear anyways.
Awesome find. All right, Chris, I think we're going into the last beer that I have.
Yes, sir.
So can you cue up the Ziggy Zaki song, either for before or after this?
There you go, man. I have it ready on the waiting for this episode.
All right. So when you go to an Oktoberfest celebration, a true German one, this song gets played about every 5 minutes, and no one complains. You can't play it enough. It just everybody stands up and does a cheers and raises their glass, and it's really a jovial song. And so if you think we're overplaying it, go to a festival and you'll find out that
we're not
overplaying it. Exactly. So.
We should have at least played it 6 times by now.
Well, I love the song, and it's even more fun when you're drinking with a lot of friends and making new friends, and by the end of the day, you know all the words and you're slurring them with everyone else. We always used to just say, "Eins, zwei, drei, sofa." And I think by the end of the night, you're looking for your sofa. All right. My final beer of the evening, another completely blind stab, but this one from a brewery that I like. It's from Cigar City Brewing down in Florida, in Tampa, and it's their Oktoberfest Martin Style Lager. Martin Style Lager with malt flavors of bread crust and herbaceous hop notes familiar to generations of revelers. Our Martin Style Lager is full-bodied and complex, but finishes as smooth as a fresh pair of lederhosen. So that's what the marketing guys say. It's 5.8%, 25 IPUs. So let's taste it. I just poured it. It's really deep copper, like a darker than most of the others. It actually almost looks like a glass of whiskey, other than there's a little bit of a head left on it. So smells very similar to the other one. Nice rich malty. Maybe a little bit more malt than sweetness from the other one, but let's taste it. Yes, I would agree. It's more hoppy and less sweet. less malt in this one and maybe a little bit more hop. Now, when I say that, it's not nearly as hoppy as an IPA. At 25 IBUs, it's not really hoppy, but it just seems like it's not as. The other one was clearly, a sweeter, maltier version than this. But it's very easy to drink, very delightful. Love the appearance. It's a darker shade of amber than the other one I enjoyed. I still think I like the Revolution one better, but let me take a couple more sips. I got to give this a little bit more of a crack. Not as biscuity or toasty as the other one. But it's good, and it's a solid. But if I'm going to go about and buy more of either of these, I'm definitely going for the Revolution. Maybe it's just my palate, but it just seemed like it was more up my alley. But there's certainly nothing wrong with this Cigar City offering. So another good brew from Cigar City. We've had more of their beers. Quick read from their website. In Florida, the changing of seasons is decidedly more subtle than in most other places. Palm fronds rarely turn brilliant red and orange the way leaves do in the rest of the country, and for Floridians, sweaters exist only as a rumor. We at Cigar City rely heavily on our seasonal beers to mark the passing of each month, and few beers are better at heralding the arrival of autumn than our Oktoberfest lager. Our fest beer nods firmly towards the style's history with its amber color, bready malt, complexity, and restrained hop flavor and bitterness. At the heart of this beer is a malt bill of 6 different German malts, including a generous helping of Munich malt. After adding Hallertauer Mittelfrüh hops, we ferment the beer with an authentic Bavarian lager yeast, resulting in a clean, dry, and complex lager that's at once intriguing and drinkable. Pour yourself a liter stein and let out a hearty Prost. Why not? So yeah, another one. I mean, all these are really, really similar. And not to slight Cigar City, because this is an excellent offering. I've just become very smitten with that Oktoberfest from Revolution. Maybe it's because I'm on the can, but
you're on the can.
Both.
Is that TMI?
Yeah, I see. You want to rephrase
that? My image is on the aluminum can that the Revolution Oktoberfest comes with. Sans the tuba, though. You're not going to see me with a tuba anytime soon. But both really good finds, though. I don't want to discount this one. Particularly the color is really... and there's a nice effervescence with you see the bubbles, small bubbles through the... They're both very very well put together. I just really enjoyed the flavor from that Revolution one. It's just seemed like a notch above of any other ones I've had this season. So nothing against Cigar City offering. It's all these are pretty close up the same alley, the same style. But perhaps I should listen to the Cigar City marketing team and pour myself a liter stein and let out a hearty Prost, because maybe after a liter of this, my mind would be changed.
As good marketing, they're like, listen, you need at least the minimum a liter of this.
Yeah, so get a 6-pack and keep pouring until I think it would be your 3 beers is 36 ounces. Yeah, that's half the 6-pack in one glass.
Yeah.
That's a good marketing scheme. But I have my 1 liter mug from the Penn Brewery in Pittsburgh. They make some great German-style brews. If you ever get to Pittsburgh, look them up. I have been to their Oktoberfest shindig, and believe me, you need an Uber.
Ha.
Or a DD. I had a DD that day, actually.
Or a bike.
We done good here, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was looking for one, and they sometimes distribute here, but they're not so easy to find. And what I was looking for was Sprecher out of Milwaukee. I was looking for Sprecher Oktoberfest, because to me that's always been the definitive Oktoberfest, and they've been doing it for so long, since, I don't know, the 80s. And I'm not kidding. And I did not see anything from Sprecher. They're hit or miss and hard to find, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to look. But shout out to those guys. I've been to Sprecherfest, which was always their big Oktoberfest. I've been there probably 3 or 4 times, and just in this really nice big park outside of Milwaukee or right in Milwaukee. What a great time that is. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, and I was going to get a Shiner Oktoberfest. That's another brewery out of Texas that has very widespread distribution. They're a pretty large brewery, so a lot of people probably don't associate them as much with your smaller independent craft breweries, but I believe they still are a member of the Brewers Association. And I decided not to get that because next week we're going to do the own box and double box, and I figured Shiner Bock is one of the classics in that realm, so we'll probably bring them next week on next week's show. So we'll be continuing the October and September theme with box and doppelbox next week, and the following week we are going to actually go back to the authentic German beers. We'll have a little bit of everything that week. We purposely been trying to stick to German style American crafts, but in the final week of September, we are going to go back and taste traditional German offerings.
Reinheitsgebot will be in effect.
Yes, the Reinheitsgebot will be in effect for sure. We'll try to cover some of the styles that we didn't cover, like a Rauch beer or a Schwarz beer or whatever we might find. Or, maybe Doug will find another Martzen-inspired double IPA this time. Who knows? I don't know what you're going to find on the Beer Nuts.
Yes.
Other than a bunch of beer nuts.
And too, you can see what we're drinking at the Beer Nuts Podcast on Instagram. Get the show at Beer Nuts Podcast on Twitter. Also check out what we're drinking there as well. You can email us, beernutspodcast@christophermedia.net. And thanks for listening. Welcome if you're new, and if you're a continued listener, welcome back. And thanks for listening. And if you're new and you like it, tell a friend. That's how this grows. Bottom line. So, thank you.
And please, if you have a suggestion for a beer you'd like to have us review on the show, send us a note on Twitter, Instagram, wherever your preferred social media outlet is, and we will be happy to honor your request. And you can feel free to send us beer in the mail, too, but instant message. We will take free beer all day long.
Yes.
All right, any final comments? Any hipster tipster stuff? I don't think there was any earth-shattering news in the industry this week. If not, I think it's time to go to Mexico City, where Vienna-style lagers are prevalent.
Yeah, I'm ready if you guys are.
Yep.
All right, so until next time, as they say at old Mexico City, AMF.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
You can't control what's outside your home, but you can control what comes in. Because Clorox disinfecting wipes kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria, including COVID-19 virus, when used as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces. So whether it's from dirty doorknobs, dirty shoes, or something else, outside germs won't stand a chance. When it counts, trust Clorox. Kill Pseudomonas, Salmonella, and influenza virus type A2. Kill SARS-CoV-2 on hard, non-porous surfaces. Use as directed.
Wendy's Baconator is the ultimate bacon cheeseburger that puts all other cheeseburgers to cheeseburger shame. And now we're bringing that same big bacon energy to shake up and wake up your breakfast with the Breakfast Baconator. Stacked with the fresh cracked egg, sausage, cheese, and bacon. And right now, you can get a free Breakfast Baconator with purchase in the Wendy's app. So get the Wendy's and always be baconating. We got you.
Offer available at participating U.S. Wendy's for a limited time during breakfast hours only. Offer must be redeemed via the app. Account registration required.